Welcome to my channel, The Divine Journey of Happiness. First of all, I want to wish each and everyone a very happy, safe and prosperous Diwali. Hope you all enjoy this beautiful festival of light. Today, I just wanted to discuss one point which came in my mind. That is, most of us used to do decluttering during this festival, decluttering of our house, all the unnecessary things. We used to clean each and every corner of our house. We used to declutter or swipe off all the unnecessary things which we stored the whole year in our house, but we never used that. And in this festival, we from 2 or 3 days back, we are so much busy of decluttering of those unnecessary things. So one point came in my mind, that do we have any time given thought to declutter the garbage what we put in our mind? Yeah, there are much more things, much more unnecessary things, unnecessary stuffs, unnecessary thoughts, useless thoughts which we generally put it in our mind. Our mind is much more bigger storehouse than the store room we have in our home. Yeah, and that's why most of the time we are facing so much of stress, so much of depression, so much of unhappiness in our life, because we never swipe off those thoughts, we never swipe off those unnecessary stuffs which we put in our mind. So I think this is the best time to take an oath that as well as we always keep our house clean, we try to keep each and every corner of our house clean, the same way a little bit of time we need to devote to clean and swipe off our mind, swipe off those unnecessary thoughts. So today most of us are facing a very common problem. Whatever field we are, maybe that is in family, that is in professional field, or even the child in schools, and each and every sphere or each and every sector of life, we are facing this problem. That is, what is this? That is a very small 3-letter word, that is ego. Yeah, ego. Most of us facing our problem, in relationship, just because of this ego. Even in professional field also, we have the ego problem. In schools even, the child also have the ego problem. So what is this ego? Ego is nothing but attachment to a wrong image of our personality. What we are, what we generally are, we don't used to think ourselves in that way. So first of all, just to understand this small word ego, we need to understand ourselves. We need to know what we are, what is our actual introduction. Wherever we go, that is in school, that is in college, that is in professional field, in corporate sector, first of all we need to give our introduction. So how we used to introduce ourselves? Our introduction is generally combination of few points. Especially in YouTube also you can find so many videos which are generally made about the introduction topic. Through this video, generally this is the concept is given to the viewers, that how we need to introduce ourselves. What are the key points we should include in our introduction speech or introduction columns. So the first point, the way we used to introduce ourselves, that is the name. First of all, we used to tell our name. The way of telling of a name, mine, that is somebody speaks, I am such and such, like I am Payel Bagchi. Or there is another way, that is my name is Payel Bagchi. Later I will discuss about all these topics. The first point is name and the second one is qualification. The second point is qualification. Whatever qualification we have, professional qualification, that is maybe I'm a doctor, I'm an engineer, I'm a chartered accountant, or I'm a pilot, I'm a teacher, whatever qualification we are. Then we used to tell the position what we held in the professional field, in the corporate sector. Like, I am a assistant general manager, I am a deputy general manager, or whatever position. Then the position what we have, in which area we have, our property, what is my bank balance. We generally not used all these terms in our introduction, but there are few companies, they also ask about your position. Do you have any property? Do you use the four-wheeler? What four-wheeler you have? There's so many times they used to ask this all these things. Or what is your family background? In which field your father works in? Like this and this, such and such. Especially at the time of admission of a child in a school, this type of questions are always asked from the administration of that school. They want to judge that can you afford this school? Can you afford your child's education this school? So they always want the designation of father or designation of the parents, in which designation they used to work. So always this type of questions we are facing in our day-to-day life. So I just want to ask you all, is it the right way to introduce ourselves? If it is the right way to introduce ourselves, then why our introduction always changed throughout the journey of our life? Our introduction is our originality. It is our original entity. It is our nature. If it is our originality, is it should be changed? Is it should be changed as the time flies? But this happens in our day-to-day life. As the time flies, our introduction changed. I just want to give you an example that when we start our journey of life, first of all, a child is in her mother's womb. That time also the life exists in the child, but we don't know whether what the gender it is, what the child's gender, maybe it is girl or boy. As the child take birth, and the child opened his eyes in this beautiful world, immediately we don't give the child a name. After 10 or 15 days, or depending upon the religion they belong, or depending upon the family situation, position, whatever, the child have a name after a few days. That time we used to call the child by her name. Then the child got his family. After a few years, when he became 20 or 22 years of age, he got his first degree, whatever degree he belongs, like he got the degree of doctor, an engineer, or whatever. Then as soon as he entered into the corporate field, he got a position, that is maybe assistant general manager at the age of 24. After 2 or 3 years, at the age of 27, 28, he got the position of senior manager. Then he got the position of the deputy general manager. Then he got the position of general manager, or maybe at the end of his professional life he got the position of the vice president of the company. But what after that? How he will introduce himself after 60 years? Or you can say through the journey of this 20 or 30 years of his professional life, each time whenever you meet with that person, he introduced himself in a different way. At the starting of his career, he introduced himself like, I'm such and such, my name is this, and I am the assistant general manager of the company. After 10 years, you meet the person, then he introduced himself that now I am the deputy general manager of the company. Then at the age of 50 or 55, he introduced himself that I am the vice president of the company. So throughout this journey of his life, his introduction continuously being changed. Is it the right way? Is it the accurate way to introduce himself? No, because if it is the right way, then how he will introduce himself at the age of 60 or at the age of 65? Now he doesn't hold any of the position in the company. Then our mind is very clever. We always get a trick when we are facing any problem. Then the X word came in our mind. Then why we won't write the small X word in our visiting card? that ex-vice president of such and such company. Why he needs to write the X, and the X is also written in a very small form, because throughout the journey of his life he got only one knowledge, and he only known that he is to be identified, he has to be identified in the society through the position what he holds. And so after retirement he has to write the X in his visiting card, otherwise people won't give him respect. If he doesn't write that position, then people won't give him respect, and he will lose his identity. He doesn't, because he never thought that he is something more, he is something else than this identity, than this position. Throughout the journey of life we just only get a one knowledge that whatever position we belongs, that is our identity. And just because of this, so many people are facing the problem of identity crisis, because it is the attachment of the wrong image of our personality. Neither we are the name, nor we are the qualification, nor we are the position, nor we are the position we have. We are much more higher, superior power and energy. We are much more powerful than this position. These things we achieved or we got through the journey of life, but we all know that one day we need to lose it. One day all things will lose from ourselves. They are not going to be attached throughout the journey of life. But knowing all this truth, we still want to hold this, so much of this physical, so much of this outside materialistic things so tightly that we even forgot our own identity. And this is called identity crisis. And just because of this identity crisis, so much of students or so much of person are committing suicide. They can't even imagine that what we are if we lose this position, if I lose the chance of get selected in IIT, what will I do? What options I have? Because throughout the journey of their life, they only got the knowledge that if you don't get the chance in IIT, or if you don't get the degree, if you can't hold the position, then you will finished. This is the absolutely false image what we generally used to put in our mind. So these are the small things which we need to declutter from our mind, from our thoughts, and that time we can celebrate Diwali in the most beautiful manner. Thank you for all watching this, and in later episode I will all discuss this in a brief. Again, I want to wish all of you a very happy, safe and prosperous Diwali. Happy Diwali, and have a beautiful journey of your life with your family, with your friends. Thank you. Bye-bye.